Episode 16.
Hey, this is John Lee Dumas of EO Fire, and you're listening to the Small Business Puzzle Podcast. You must be prepared to ignite.
Struggling to get your business online? You've come to the right place. Welcome to the Small Business Puzzle Podcast. Now, here's your hosts, Michael and Teresa Blaze.
Welcome to the Small Business Puzzle Podcast. I'm Michael, and I'm here with my co-host and better half, Teresa.
Good evening, everyone, or morning, or afternoon, or wherever it finds you.
You know, that joke is getting just a little old, Teresa.
Okay, so we'll find another one next time.
Yeah, that works. Okay, so announcements. We've been taking a little bit of a hiatus for the last few weeks. It's been a little crazy in life, and so we've been kind of missing in action, but we are back.
No question about that. We're back. We're ready to keep doing what we do best.
I'll be back.
Mike, pathetic. Anyway.
Come on, Schwarzenegger. Can't go wrong with Schwarzenegger.
Sure you can. Just ask California. Anyway, let's get off that icy patch there, huh? Okay, so
good one, Therese.
All right, so announcements. We basically, in the time that we've been gone, have gone to a conference. Podcast movement, which kind of leads into what we're going to be talking about a little bit later on once we get to that point. And we also, let's see, Mike, what other announcements do we have?
Well, we unfortunately didn't get any participation in the contest. And a little disappointed with that, but no biggie. Maybe we'll run it later maybe run it a little bit later and see what kind of participation we can get. It's all right, guys. We understand. But, so the contest is no longer happening. But if you have a suggestion on what to name our tribe, we'd like you to go ahead and send that to sbppodcast.com. Or try that again, sbppodcast@gmail.com. Or you can go to sbppodcast.com/contact.
Mike, you will untie your tongue eventually, right?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I'm rusty. I can't help it. We've been on hiatus for a while.
Yeah,
have you ever tried to record when you got a kiddo around? It's challenging. You have to pick a time late at night or when they're occupied. And I don't know. We don't talk a lot about our daughter, but our daughter's a special needs kiddos, and so she requires a lot of attention. It's complicated. Anyway.
Yeah. So, that being said, I believe that's all the announcements.
I believe so.
So, today we are going to be covering our takeaway moments from Podcast Movement 2016.
Oh my God.
First of all,
okay, we're done with the episode. Oh my God.
Forgive him. I don't know what to do with him. I don't know what's gotten into him. I'm trying to do an episode here. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway. We'll go a little more in depth than that.
Right. Okay. First of all, if you have not ever gone to a conference, I don't care what you have to do. If you gotta scrape the funds together, if you gotta go mow car or mow lawns for a summer, I don't care what you have to do. Get yourself to one.
It is so worth it.
For us, I've heard this saying before, and I've heard, and I think there's a lot of truth to it. It's not so much the sessions that you attend, it's the networking that happens in the hallways.
Yeah, and that was the interesting thing about this particular conference is, yes, we attended a lot of sessions and they were awesome and all, but what we really enjoyed this time was meeting with people and finding out what their podcast was about and meeting with vendors. They had pretty much everybody that's in the industry for the most part was represented there.
Mm-hmm. And we do mean everybody. I mean, some of the all-time greats like Dan Miller and Pat Flynn and, John Lee Dumas and, just, Tim Page from Lead Pages. I mean, you name it, they were there. So,
yeah.
Okay. That being said, and that reminds me, we're going to have some killer interviews coming up for you guys.
Oh, man, we've got some stuff lined up.
So just stay tuned. We're going to make things cool with you. But, okay, let me back up a minute. When we first got there, okay, Mike and I were sitting down to dinner. And, Mike and I are just sitting there and we're talking, and this guy comes up. And he goes, "You guys are from Podcast Movement, aren't you?" And we're like, "Yeah." And he goes, "I hate eating alone. Do you mind if I join you for dinner?"
He crashed our table.
You know what? That was one of the best dinners I've ever had because we networked with the man and we found out we had a lot in common with him.
Not only that, I mean, very successful podcaster. He has a network of like 35 different podcasts. So yeah, it was an amazing experience. The knowledge and information and the advice, and it was like, it made the whole, I think for me, that was one of the highlights.
Oh, agreed. Completely agreed. When I sit back and I think about it, that was truly one of the highlights. The other one for me was hearing, Dan Miller present. Okay. He was one of the guys that I was like, yes, I want to hear that.
Yes, that was awesome.
And
for in case you don't know who we're talking about Dan Miller from 48days.com. Wrote the book 48 Days to the Work You Love. Awesome speaker.
Mm-hmm.
And amazing to talk to. Oh, we got to talk to him.
Yep. So, here's the deal. I'm going to run down some of the 5 things that I think, really make a good conference and really make a good impression, okay? First of all, everybody is going to come up to when you are inside and you're hearing a speaker, especially if you resonate with that speaker, everybody's going to want to talk to them. The question is, what is going to make you stand out enough that they're going to want to spend extra time with you?
And that was not a problem this time. I felt like.
No, it wasn't for us. But what I'm saying is, when people go to conferences, what is the one thing that when you go to a conference and let's say you go and you listen to one of the big guys or maybe someone you don't really know, okay? What is the one thing that makes you unique? Why are they going to want to pay attention to you out of all the people that are trying to gain their attention? Because here's the thing. Attention is crucial.
Now, we've got a little bit of an advantage in that because of the fact that we've got the blindness thing going. Not that it's by choice or anything, but we are blind, and the walking around with white canes kind of gets you noticed. But yeah, you want to differentiate yourself. You want to look different. But I think even more important, you want to talk to people.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't talk to people, if all you do is just attend the sessions and stare at 4 walls and go back up to your room and hide, you're not going to accomplish anything.
No, you're not.
And I think another highlight for me was that gentleman that we met. What was the third night when we went out to Red, whatever is it?
Oh, Red Robin.
Yeah, we went out to Red Robin, which I'd never been to. Really good food, by the way.
Oh, we'll handle the food in a minute.
Or should I do a Ray Edwards? Red Robin, $100.
What do I do with him? Anyway. No, what happened was we were just heading down there and we ran across this guy and I for the life of me cannot remember his name.
I've got his card. I don't remember.
That being said, what happened? He kind of
he was picking our brain mainly.
Oh, yeah, it was beautiful because he was a financial guy. He didn't really know about all this podcasting and stuff, and he didn't know about all the website stuff, and, we became the experts. We pretty much gave the guy a free consulting session, But you know where the value came in? Because he was talking to us about financial matters, stuff that he knows.
Yeah, he was a financial, what do they call it? Financial manager or financial counselor.
Yeah.
Investment, his strength is investment.
Which is something that Mike and I are interested in. But, the point being is, we didn't expect to meet up with the guy. He just kind of showed up.
I think that's that's the amazing thing about attending conferences is the fact that you never know who you're going to run into. And think, where you're walking around in life and, maybe you're out eating dinner with your wife or whatever. Somebody walks up to you out of the blue and starts talking to you. But when you're at a conference, you've got a lot of other people who have their own agendas for being at that conference. And, they're probably going to reach out to you too. And we had that happen, although I think we were more initiators than most people.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, okay.
So let's go ahead and go through your 5 things, Trace.
All right. First of all, if you're going to go, bring a business card that is unique.
Yeah.
Okay? Because one of the things that they do, they sit there and they go, oh, okay. Oh, what is this?
Yeah, and that's one advantage we had. I went ahead and had some special cards made up just for Podcast Movement, and they went over really well. That's one thing I don't think we're gonna blend into all the rest of the cards that they had sitting in their bag or purse or whatever. So that was, I think that was one advantage, and we'll share a couple places you can get cards. There is Vistaprint, which is where we got our cards,
mm-hmm.
and then Moo Cards is the other one. So we'll have links in the show notes for those, so you can access that. So what's your second one, Therese?
My second one is, when you are talking to them, do not automatically go, and I know Kate talked a lot about this in the previous episode. Okay. So, I don't want to sit there and repeat everything, but a lot of times just listen, because believe me, they like to talk about themselves.
Absolutely. What is it? What's in it for me? No, what is it? Yeah. What's in it for me? I was trying to think of that something.
WWIFM, what's in it for me?
Yeah. And that's what everybody goes there with an agenda. Everybody. With Dan Miller, it was probably more as a speaker and maybe to reach out to some of his tribe, which is massive. Tim Page being the voice of Lead Pages, obviously his agenda was to introduce more people to Lead Pages.
Yep.
which we use, by the way.
Yeah, we do. And yeah, it's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful program, by the way. Just saying.
And we'll have a link to lead pages in our show notes.
Yes.
So, what else, Trace?
Number 3 is I just had a brain lock. Oh goodness. Number 3. When you are and this is obviously something very, very simple. Okay? But when you are walking around and doing your thing, okay, be sure to keep yourself hydrated and well fed.
Oh God, yes.
I mean, I'm dead serious, because you are going to be running on adrenaline most of that time. Okay, it is just. And also, here's another tip. Okay, at these hotels, I mean, they're going to want you to try their food, which is, probably good. In fact, we ate at the hotel restaurant. Well, this is probably number 4, but actually, no, it's still number 3. The point being is, keep yourself well fed and don't get sucked into, well, I have to eat at the hotel restaurant. No, you don't.
Yeah. We were downtown Chicago, man. We participated. Yeah. Oh God, the food was amazing. And I just had a brain lock. Boy, we're doing good today. We are rusty, guys. It is clear. So, I would say a lot of these events, and I'm sure this is probably true of other conferences too, they have what is known as a meetup.
Agreed.
At the conference. And if you have the opportunity, find out about the meetup. Some of them are private, some of them are public, but look for them. We attended John Lee Dumas's meetup. One, because we're members of Paradise, Podcasters Paradise. And we attended Mark Asquith's meetup, and that was amazing. Oh, man, the food. Best pizza I've ever eaten. If you've ever eaten a genuine Chicago pizza, you got to try it. We went to a place called Giordino's, which was very far from the hotel, and the food was amazing. And I will have a picture of the pizza that we had on the show notes.
Okay, so what are we at? Number 4?
I think number 4 is okay. Do you have it? You want me to take it?
Nope, you take it.
Don't just focus on the conference. I mean, obviously your main focus needs to be on the conference, but lift up your head and look around too. We were like I said, we were in downtown Chicago. They had a food festival called the Taste of Chicago, and we actually got out and did some things for ourselves the last night that we were there, and it was amazing. So be sure to do that, to not just focus on the conference, but check out the area and all that stuff. That's one of the things that makes the conference so much fun.
Agreed. I mean, yeah. I will tell you right now, I want to go back to Chicago. It's a beautiful city. I want to go back to visit. I want to go back to kind of explore. And by the way, it's huge. Just saying.
Oh, the skyline. The skyline was amazing. I've got some amazing pictures on our Facebook page that you got to take a look at. And that's another point, with resting and making sure you stay hydrated and make sure that you eat regularly and all that stuff. I mean, These conferences are exhausting.
Oh my goodness, they are. But you know what? They're worth it.
If you're doing the right thing, if you don't end up the day tired, you got issues.
Yeah.
Every night that we were there, we were in bed by midnight.
What? 9?
No, by midnight.
By midnight? Yeah. Okay.
You fell asleep a lot earlier, but sometimes,
Yeah.
I was usually up a little later than that. But by midnight, we were always asleep.
So, fifth and final topic. I'm going to end this by repeating something that Kate said because I think it is so true. Okay? Go there with a goal in mind.
Oh my God. Yes. That is so important.
Okay? Go there with a goal in mind because if you don't, then you're going to be kind of floundering around and you're not going to really know what you're doing. And if you don't know what you're doing, that's a problem. You need to know what do you intend to get out of this conference. We know what we wanted. We wanted to network. Okay? We wanted to network and we wanted to schedule interviews that we could bring back to you guys. That was our goal. And guess what? We accomplished it. Yes, there were some classes that we wanted to attend, and we attended most of them. But it wasn't the main goal. Our goal was to find content for you guys.
Content, and also find out what was going on in the industry.
Yep.
Those were our two goals, and I think we accomplished what, babe? About 90%,
95%. I'd say that.
Yeah. I mean, I felt like we went there and we pretty much did what we said we were going to do, and I felt really good about that.
I agree. So here's what we've got. So those are the 5. Let me back up. Those are the 5 things that we've got. Okay. Regarding our takeaways from the podcast movement, and also what to do when actually at the conferences. Okay, those are our things.
Right.
That being said, here's what we've got coming up. We've got some interviews coming up with a renowned PR expert.
Oh, man.
Okay? This guy is huge. We've also got Tim Page coming up, the voice of Lead Pages, and we're going to be talking about one of his favorite topics and mine, conversion. Because, I mean, I already talked about copywriting in one of the previous episodes, okay? Which is basically salesmanship and print. But what is conversion? Conversion is essentially getting someone to take an action, to do what you want them to do. Whether that be to opt into a page, buy something, like something, whatever.
Right.
Okay? So, we are going to talk about how to best influence conversion. That's
going to be an amazing session.
So,
and we got another one. We got an agreement with them. It's not scheduled yet, but later on, we got John Lee Dumas.
Yes.
That is going to be amazing. Oh my God, he is so much fun to talk to. Kate was fun. By the way, if you missed the episode with Kate Erickson, that is episode number 16. That would be sbppodcast.com/16 or 15, excuse me. Episode 15, sbppodcast.com/15. You've got to catch that episode. Talking to Kate is absolutely amazing.
Agreed. So here's the deal. I want to kind of leave on one final question. Who do you want us to talk to? I mean, we could bring you cool people all day long. But who do you want? What do you need?
Good question.
Okay. You can send us an email at sbppodcast@gmail.com, or you can click on the contact page. But we want to hear from you. We want to know what you want. We want to know who you want us to interview, who you want us to talk about, and what topics you want us to work through. Okay?
Agreed. We need some direction from you guys, because we could talk about what we want to talk about, but that's not going to help you. It's more important for you But, if you interact, then this show becomes your show, not just ours.
Agreed, and that's what we want. So, that being the case, I think that's it, Mike, unless you got something else?
That's basically it. Why don't we go ahead and end up? And you've been listening to the Small Business Puzzle podcast. This is episode number 16, sbppodcast.com/16. And if you like what you've heard, we ask that you would rate and review through iTunes so that more listeners can find us.
And we'll be in other places, and we'll let you know where those other places are, soon enough. So, with that, I'm Teresa.
And I'm Michael.
See ya.
Have a great day.
You've been listening to the Small Business Puzzle Podcast. To catch all our past shows, visit sbppodcast.com.